The Saturn V rocket stands as one of the greatest engineering achievements of the 20th century. Developed by NASA under the Apollo program, this colossal machine was responsible for launching humans beyond Earth's atmosphere and onto the lunar surface. Standing at 363 feet tall, the Saturn V remains the tallest, heaviest, and most powerful rocket ever successfully flown. From its conception to its final launch, the Saturn V redefined what was possible in space exploration. The roots of the Saturn V trace back to the late 1950s and early 1960s, a period dominated by Cold War tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union had successfully launched the first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, in 1957, and later sent the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into space in the year 1961. In response, President John F. Kennedy issued a bold challenge to NASA: land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the decade was out. To achieve this, NASA required a powerful new launch vehicle capable of carrying both astronauts and heavy payloads to the moon. The Saturn V was conceived under the guidance of Dr. Werner von Braun, a German-born engineer who had played a crucial role in the development of early rocket technology. The task fell to the Marshall Space Flight Center, where von Braun and his team designed and refined what would become the most powerful rocket in history.
The Saturn V was an engineering masterpiece. It consisted of 3 main stages, each with a specific role in propelling the spacecraft beyond Earth's gravity and toward the moon. The first stage provided the initial push to lift the rocket off the ground. Its 5 F1 engines, the most powerful single-chamber liquid-fueled engines ever developed, burned nearly 2 million liters of RP1 in less than 3 minutes, which is around 12 tons of fuel per second. This stage propelled the rocket to an altitude of 42 miles before separating. Once the first stage dropped away, the second stage took over, accelerating the spacecraft into the upper atmosphere. Its J2 engines, fueled by liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, produced enough thrust to push the mission beyond 100 miles in altitude. The third stage played a crucial role in sending astronauts to the moon. After reaching Earth's orbit, it reignited to execute the translunar injection, a maneuver that propelled the Apollo spacecraft on its journey to the moon. Atop the Saturn V was the Apollo spacecraft, consisting of the command module, the service module, and the lunar module. These components ensured astronauts could travel to the moon, land, and return safely. The Saturn V was launched a total of 13 times between 1967 and 1973. Each mission played a crucial role in perfecting lunar exploration. On December 21, 1968, Apollo 8 became the first crewed mission to ride the Saturn V into space. Astronauts Frank Borman, James Lovell, and William Anders became the first humans to orbit the moon, capturing the famous Earthrise photograph that changed humanity's perspective on our planet. On July 16, 1969, Apollo 11, carrying Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, lifted off from Kennedy Space Center atop a Saturn V. 4 days later, Armstrong and Aldrin landed the lunar module Eagle on the moon, marking the first human steps on another celestial body. Armstrong's words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," became immortalized in history. After spending 21 hours and 36 minutes on the lunar surface, Armstrong and Aldrin conducted extravehicular activities, collecting 47.5 pounds of lunar samples and setting up scientific instruments, including the seismometer and retroreflector for laser-ranging experiments. They then successfully docked with the command module Columbia, piloted by Michael Collins, before returning to Earth and splashing down in the Pacific Ocean on July 24, 1969. Subsequent Apollo missions expanded lunar exploration with improved precision, technology, and scientific discovery. Apollo 12 in 1969 for precision landing near the Surveyor 3 probe for improving accuracy in lunar landings. Apollo 13 in 1970. The infamous successful failure where an oxygen tank explosion forced the crew to abort their landing and return safely through a daring, improvised strategy. Apollo 14 in 1971. The first scientific experiments conducted on the Moon, including geological sampling in the Fra Mauro region. Apollo 15 in 1971. Introduction of the lunar roving vehicle, which allowed astronauts to explore greater distances. Apollo 16 in 1972, for exploration of the lunar highlands and bringing back over 200 pounds of samples. Apollo 17 in 1972, last crewed moon mission featuring Harrison Schmitt, the first scientist astronaut to walk on the moon. The final Saturn V launch occurred on May 14, 1973, carrying Skylab, the first American space station.
Several key factors made the Saturn V an unparalleled rocket. It's famous for generating the most thrust till date. It remains the most powerful rocket successfully flown. Despite its complexity, all 13 launches were successful. It was able to carry 140 tons to low Earth orbit and 48 tons to the Moon. Used cutting-edge technology, including hydrogen fuel for efficient performance. Even though the Saturn V was retired after the Apollo program, its impact endures. The rocket laid the foundation for future space exploration, influencing the design of the Space Launch System, NASA's next-generation rocket for missions to the Moon and Mars. Remnants of the Saturn V remain in museums, where visitors can marvel at its colossal scale. The spirit of the Apollo era lives on in modern space endeavors, including Artemis, NASA's program to return humans to the Moon. The Saturn V was more than just a rocket. It was a symbol of human ambition, ingenuity, and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. It remains an unparalleled engineering marvel, a testament to what humanity can achieve when driven by a common goal. Though decades have passed since its final launch, the Saturn V's legacy continues to inspire new generations to reach for the stars.
If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome videos.